It is time to ditch InstaCart. Stop delivering burritos. Seriously. Enough of it. You're running a race to the bottom. If you're driving for DoorDash, Uber, InstaCart in 2026, you aren't an independent contractor. You are donating your vehicle's equity to a tech company. But there is an exit ramp. A parallel economy running on the exact same roads, operating on different rules. It doesn't care about your customer rating, doesn't care if you smile. It cares about chain of custody and federal compliance. I'm talking about the medical courier market. Moving human specimens, live organs, and pharmaceuticals. Because the stakes are higher, the barrier to entry is higher. And because the barrier is higher, the pay is protected. Today, we're going to cover this sector completely. We'll cover the vehicle requirements, the certifications you actually need versus the ones that the scammers online try to sell you, and the specific apps to target. Let's dismantle the hype and talk about the math. First, let's clear up a massive misconception. Medical courier work isn't just one job. There are 3 completely different business models. And if you don't know the difference, you'll end up making gig app wages for professional work. Tier number 1 is the on-demand courier. This is the easiest entry point. You're using apps like Freight, Roadie, or GoShare. Feels kind of like Uber. Your phone pings, some robot picks up and says, "Pick up the specimen at Mercy Hospital, deliver it to LabCorp. The pay is $28. The pros? It's flexible. You ain't got no boss. The cons? It's volatile. Just like InstaCart, DoorDash, Uber. Our data shows that while apps like Freight are great for filling gaps, you can't build a stable full-time income on them alone because, well, most of us don't live in a massive metro area. Tier number 2 is the routed professional. The routed professional is the holy grail. This is where you're contracting with companies like MedSpeed, Associated Couriers, and Lab Logistics. They're not looking for just any random driver. They're looking for someone to cover the night loop. That means that you show up at 6 a.m. every single night, or p.m., if that's what I meant. It's probably what I meant. You hit the same 10 clinics. You drop the samples at the central lab by 10 p.m. You know exactly how many miles you'll drive and exactly what your check will be. It allows you to budget a little bit, gives you a little bit of predictability, allows you to plan. The catch is that you lose that work whenever you want freedom. You have to show up. Tier number 3 is the freight specialist. The freight specialist is for scaling. If you have a cargo van or a sprinter, you aren't a courier. You are now a freight logistics business owner. You're moving hospital beds and palletized pharmaceuticals on platforms like Curri or Roadie's huge tier. The gross revenue is easily the highest when you're doing this kind of work, often hitting $2 to $3 per mile. But so is the overhead. Diesel, commercial insurance for a sprinter van will eat you alive if you don't know your math. So where do you fit? Well, that depends on your vehicle, your primary asset. If you're driving a reliable sedan, hatchback, or small SUV, you're in the courier lane. The good news is that you don't need a brand new car. While rideshare apps demand newer vehicles, platforms like Freight often accept vehicles up to 15 years old. Drop-off is a little bit stricter, usually looking for cars under 10 years old because you are pulling up to the front door of hospitals. Here's the rule. No cosmetic damage, no rust buckets, and no cracked windshields. You represent a medical facility. And if you look like you just rolled out of a junkyard, then you're not going to last a week. So let's talk about barrier to entry. This is where most people get filtered out, which keeps your competition relatively low compared to the others. You need certifications, but be careful. Like I said, there's an industry of guru websites trying to sell you a $500 Medical Courier masterclass. Don't buy it. Complete scam. Here's the truth about what the law actually requires. You need to be compliant with both OSHA and HIPAA standards. First, HIPAA, you're transporting patient data. So you need to know that you can't leave that box visible in your back seat while you run into the gas station for a burrito. Second, blood-borne pathogens, or BBP. If a specimen bag breaks or leaks, then you need to know how to use a spill kit. You don't need a college degree for any of this. You can find legitimate, accredited HIPAA and BBP, training courses online for right around 30 to 50 bucks. Sites like Integrity Medical Courier or generic OSHA training centers offer both. Get that certificate, save that PDF on your phone so you have the proof. Once you're certified, we got to talk about the Widowmaker. Insurance. Your personal auto insurance policy explicitly excludes commercial use. If you are carrying a cooler full of blood samples and get into a wreck, your adjuster will deny that claim. You'll be personally liable for your car, the other driver's car, and the medical payload. You need commercial auto insurance, and yes, it is expensive. It can cost between $200 to $400 a month, but this isn't a bill. It's a business expense that you can write off on your taxes. And without it, you're driving naked. So let's look at the income reality. The guru videos claim that you can make $2,500 a week. Is that possible? Sure. If you're driving a cargo van 16 hours a day. Is it probable for a beginner in a sedan? Absolutely not. Our audit driver reports from 2025 show realistic stabilized net income for a full-time independent medical courier somewhere between about $800 to $1,200 per week after expenses. InstaCart cannot touch that. Now, that might not sound like a lottery win, but again, compared to Instacart, Uber, where they might hit that before their expenses. To make $1,200 on Instacart, you're going to be shopping for 60 hours plus and praying that the tips just bump you above that. It's not going to happen. In medical courier work, there's no tip baiting. A hospital administrator isn't going to lower your pay just because you didn't smile enough. The rate is the rate. It's a contract. So how do you execute this? What is the wealth code strategy? The smartest drivers in the industry use a hybrid stacking strategy. They anchor their day with a routed contract, maybe a morning pharmacy run that pays a steady $400 a week, which covers the gas and the insurance for the month. That's the floor. Then they use apps and gaps in their schedule to make sure that they're optimized, and they cherry pick the highest value on-demand gigs from freight and roadie. They're not multi-apping out of desperation. They're multi-apping for optimization. But I do have to be honest, because I've done it myself. There are downsides, and it is lonely. You're in your car for 10 hours a day. It's physical. You're getting in and out 40 times a day, and the dispatchers are not your friends. They have a board of orders to clear. They'll try to send you into downtown traffic at 5 p.m. for a flat rate in the middle of Salt Lake City, Utah. And you have to learn to say no. And if you don't know what your vehicle costs in terms of per mileage, cents per mile to operate, then you just can't price your services. You're throwing darts in the dark. So here is the immediate action plan. Step number 1, do a utility check. Get the right gear. You need a high-quality cooler, a biohazard spill kit, and a lockbox if you're carrying pharmaceuticals. Buy all of it on Amazon. That's going to be your dollar saver. Do not show up at a medical facility with a styrofoam cooler. You got to look like a pro. Step number 2, your tracking stack. You are a business now. You need an app like Solo or Stride. Solo helps you predict earnings and track your hourly rate across different apps. You need to track every single mile. If you drive 100 miles and don't track it, you just threw about $60 worth of tax savings right into the trash bin. Step number 3, application density. Don't just apply to one company. You have to apply to all of them. GoShare, Freight, Drop-Off, Associated Couriers, US Pack, Diligent. The onboarding does take time. We're talking like up to 2 weeks, maybe even 3 for a background check. If you've lived in 17 states over 40 years like me, drug screens are mandatory, so stay off the wacky weed. They will track and check your driving record. You have a DUI or a reckless driving charge recently, you're just not gonna be suited for this industry. Don't even waste your time. I'm warning you. Step number 4, the ghost economy. A lot of these jobs aren't on Indeed. They are on independent contractor boards like cbdriver.com. This is where the regional logistics companies post their routes. Check these boards every morning. Also, look for the last mile problem. Pharmacies are moving to home delivery. Long-term care facilities need daily supplies. These routes are often subcontracted to smaller local companies who then subcontract to drivers like you. One final warning about asset liquidation. If you're driving a brand new $40,000 vehicle, you are killing your profit. Depreciation is your biggest expense. The ideal vehicle for this work is a reliable used Toyota or Honda that's already taken its depreciation hit but still has 100,000 miles of life left on it. If you put 50,000 miles a year on a brand new car, you just destroyed its value. But if you put 50,000 miles on a 10-year-old Prius, that value barely changes. That is the wealth code mentality. It is not about how much the app pays you. It's about how much you keep after you pay for the car. The gig economy is shifting. The era is easy money for unskilled driving. It's over. 2026 is going to be a financial headwind. The era of skilled, credentialed, professional logistics, however, is just beginning. You have a choice. You can keep hoping that the InstaCart algorithm gives you that unicorn batch, or you can build a business that serves the most critical industry in the world. The medical field isn't going anywhere. People will always get sick. Labs will always need testing. The demand is recession-proof. The question isn't whether the work exists. The question is, are you professional enough to handle the payload? If you're ready to treat this like a business, the opportunity is there. Start with the certifications, get your paperwork in order, clean your car, and get on the road. That's all I've got for now. Until next time, take care of you and yours, and above all, stay coded.